everybody. Welcome to the Gin and Juice podcast. My name is Melissa.
And my name is Mel.
And we are two real life sisters. And we get on this podcast every single week. And we talk about what the heck we want to talk about. However we want to talk about it, for how long we talk about it. Yes, we have segments. Yes, for the most part, we go over the segments. And then sometimes I'd be like, Roman Empire.
And then they go viral on the internet.
Hi, I'm Melissa.
And I'm Mel.
Girl, let me tell you, I only had maybe a little less than half of that drink.
When you're drinking, you just gotta drink more.
I am a strongly worded email.
Actually, that feels in line, though.
That's not
No, listen. And every now and again, when somebody get out of line, you just yell, pop the trunk.
I'm the juice to her gin. Did we hit record?
Is it working? Is it on?
That thing has almost 500,000 views.
Today, like, wait, what?
I told Kev, it was such a like throwaway, to be honest. I really only clipped it because it was topical.
Oh yeah.
And so I was like, well, let me post it that be the first one, just because I don't want to miss the topic
of it?
People talking about the whole thing. Did not
performed.
The internet is so funny because you never
know, child.
really know,
you never know
what's gonna hit and what's not. And I don't know why 500,000 people. But what is also so funny is how the conversation got warped into so just because she can't speak Spanish doesn't make her Puerto Rican. And I was like, my brain hurts trying to figure out how you made that connection.
Yeah. Yeah. I also, though, I think I recognize that, especially for I don't know, Spanish speaking Americans or people
like second generation.
Yes. So
where your parents didn't.
I think that is very sensitive. I think that there is a sensitivity around
100%.
People who have a Spanish-speaking family, and if they are a first or second generation American and they don't speak Spanish, I think that there is some sensitivities and probably even like within their culture, maybe some feelings about that. And so even if it wasn't the context of
it was definitely
or
projection.
The point that we were making, I understand that feeling. That being triggering.
Yes. And I think that's exactly what happened.
That seems to be what happened.
Because there's no world in which I wouldn't call you whatever it is that you want to be called in terms of your ethnicity or your nationality, just because you don't speak the language. Those two things don't correlate to me at all, actually. You are what you are because that's your DNA. That's your blood.
Yeah.
That's you. That's it. That's all. And so it was just, I was like, girl, wait. So she's not Puerto Rican because she don't speak Spanish? First of all, that's not even her native language. Everybody relax.
Hold on.
Everybody relax. Because I wasn't even trying to say to you. I wasn't even trying to come at you like that, to be honest. I promise you. I wasn't even trying to come for you. We want to thank our sponsors.
Absolutely, we do. And those sponsors for today's episode are Lumi and Earth Breeze. And we're going to tell you about those sponsors in this episode.
All right, we're going to go ahead and get started because we actually don't have a ton of time, and I'm going to apologize now for the probably shorter episode. All right, here we go. We're going to start with long story short, and Mel's going to take over because she's had a bit of a long story short this morning.
My. Listen, okay. I'm going to get to the weekend, but I got to talk about YSL because it's crazy.
Okay.
It is crazy. I had plans this morning. I got up. We got back home yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
I got up. I was going to do my face. I was going to have an outfit. I was going to pre-read all the things and get ready.
So Dad can't come for you?
Yes. After I watched like the morning session of YSL, the Karen Reed trial is also insane today. The tech lead investigator that everybody's been waiting for finally came to the stand today. So I was like, I don't know which one I'm going to watch, but like I'm going to consume both of them at some point and make, recaps for both of them. But I decided to tune in to YSL instead of Karen Reed this morning. And I'm glad I did. Because Young Thug's attorney, whose name is Brian Steele, was arrested in court today. He was held in contempt. What can bleep this part? What the what is happening? It is so crazy Because I'm going to give you a breakdown of what happened on Friday that led to today. Well, yes, free Brian Still. Come on, start the hashtag. We need it, bruh. What happened is the key witness to this trial, one of the key witnesses that was supposed to come on the stand and tie all of this together, okay, is a criminal. Okay, he is convicted on many charges. He has spent a ton of time in jail. He was a part of YSL, and according to there's a leaked video footage of him talking during an interview, talking with police. So he was being called on the stand to give his account. He gets up there and pleads the fifth. Okay, so the judge says he was given immunity. The problem with immunity is that it overrides the Fifth Amendment. The Fifth Amendment says that you have the right to remain silent so that you basically don't incriminate yourself. Because immunity removes the incrimination of yourself, it overrides the Fifth Amendment. That's how that works. So then if you still plead it, now you're just not testifying. It's almost as if getting a subpoena and not showing up. You get held, they will put you in jail.
Right.
So then he got put in jail. Because he sat on there and he said, no, I'm not going to. That lady said, how old are you? And he said, I plead the fifth. That's the question you're going to plead to? Sir, you could have waited till she asked you about a crime. That man said, you want my age?
Off top.
Done here.
Off top, I'm pleading the fifth.
Bruh.
Don't ask me nothing.
And then he went to jail.
It's the sky blue, the fifth.
So he goes to jail for the weekend. Okay. Here's why it's so convoluted. Because his attorney comes to the stand pissed. His attorney is like, the DA, the prosecutors, knew that he was my client. I've been talking to them since 2021. They subpoenaed him and have been talking to him about his testimony and did not contact me.
Right.
Which is the golden rule. You can't talk to somebody with who's
right to an attorney.
And if they have an attorney, you have to talk to the attorney.
I want them in the room with me.
So he is like, my client should not have to testify. He should not be held in contempt because this arrangement should have never happened. This whole immunity thing should have never happened because they've been talking to him and they have not talked to me.
Got it.
The
He
DA
said you can't get through him except by the father.
except by the father. Exactly. The DA said, well, your client told us that you wasn't his attorney. And then they also said, this is Attorney Love said, it is my understanding that you also said you wasn't that you disavowed being his attorney. So we were talking to him under the pretense that he wasn't represented.
Oh, they said boop.
And so then the judge was like, well, on Monday, he going to spend a weekend in jail. On Monday, we'll call him back and we going to ask him, meaning the witness, his name is Kenneth Copeland. We going to ask him, does he plan on testifying or does he want to just go back to jail? And then his attorney was like, I got non-refundable tickets. I can't be here on Monday. Can we do this another day? Because I got tickets and I can't get a refund. And the judge was like,
because you're not his attorney. Shut up.
The judge said, that sounds like a you problem. Somebody needs to be here to represent your client. And that's
Because where have you been? How is that? Do you believe that's his real attorney? This is confusing to me. Why would you all of a sudden have vacation plans for this trial?
Well, he said I have put in with the court since November or December that I was not going to be available during next week. And if they would have talked to me,
what's so important? To do what?
it's not like he just he probably got a wife who probably hates him because he's always working. But what he said is, had the DA reached out to me because they knew I was his attorney, they would have known that I was going to be on vacation. And so,
okay, that's a good cover up.
And so the judge said, I don't care.
Still don't believe it, but it's a good cover up.
The judge said, I don't care. Either you going to be here or you going to have somebody be here with him on Monday because he's coming back on Monday and I'm going to ask him if he's going to testify.
Okay.
So that's where it left off, right?
Okay.
So the big thing today was like, is Kenneth Copeland going to come up there and say he's testifying or is he not? Because if he says no, he can be held in jail until the end of this trial. Nobody knows when it's ending. So then today comes and he's called to the stand. Well, before he comes, Brian Steele, Young Thug's attorney, he says, Your Honor, what's happening? We have been in the dark since Friday. Is he testify? We thought we were having a motion this morning to hear if he's going to testify. Like what? And so the judge said, oh, well, he has a new attorney and my understanding is he's testifying. And Brian Steele said, wait, what? When did that happen? So then they call Kenneth Copeland to the stand. He goes on the stand. He shows his ass for 40 minutes. He won't answer no questions. He's like, how many kids you got? And he like, I don't know. Could be a lot. Like, you know me. I be out here in these streets. And so she's like, she said, do you know Shannon Stillwell, who is one of the defendants? And he like, I got bad eyesight. She like, can you point him out? And then he points out to a woman, and she was like, did you just point out a woman? And he like, I think he bald right there. I can't really see. So like, what y'all want me to say? I don't really know. And then he's like, literally, then he's like, hey, judge, I'm hot. Mind you, he's in cuffs because he's been in jail. So the judge is like, we're going to take a recess so we can like take his sweater off. So they go. So they take a recess. They come back from the recess, and then the judge's like, you know what? We should just go to lunch because we've been here and it's already crazy. Everybody go to lunch. So everybody goes to lunch, okay? And so I was ready to post that video. Like, hey, here's what happened. Everything I just said, video form, clips, faces, black and gray. We in here, gin and juice. It's the day. And then, before they start back, Brian Steele says, Your Honor, I got something to say. He comes up to the stand and he says, I learned over lunch, basically, that the reason court started this morning and the reason why we were in the dark this morning.
Because it started how many hours late, Mel?
It was supposed to start at 8:30. It started about 11.
Okay.
And the whole time, the defense is confused as to why are we now he be late, but like 8:30 and starting at 11 is a big jump, especially when you don't know what's going on. So he says, I learned the reason we were late this morning is because you, Your Honor, had a meeting in your chambers with the DA, the prosecution, the witness's attorney, and then you. And none of the defense was there. That is a violation. You cannot do that. His point, now you can have ex parte. I got to hit up the judge and the legal people I know, but you can have an ex parte meeting, meaning a meeting with one side and the judge. So if it's the prosecution and the judge, fine. If it's the defense and the judge, fine. The problem here that Brian Steele is raising is that it was a meeting with a witness, particularly a witness who has said repeatedly on Friday, and according to Brian Steele today, this witness said, I am pleading the fifth and you can keep me in jail for 2 years. I don't care. I have nothing to say. So he said, it seems like y'all was in there coercing him.
Intimidating the witness.
Intimidating him. Getting him to, you threatened him. And now all of a sudden, the man who the witness was posting on his Instagram on Friday. While he was at court, I ain't testifying. Y'all know me. I'm going to hold it down.
This is a circus.
Literally. And all of a sudden, now he got a new witness. I mean, a new attorney. And all of a sudden, now he's testifying. And y'all had a meeting without us. That's the problem. The judge said, how you hear about what happened in my chambers?
Deflection. That's not a thing. Huh?
Brian Steele said, I'm not answering that. Tell me why you had a meeting in your chambers.
Because that's the bigger question.
And the judge said, you got 5 minutes to tell me how you heard about what happened in my chambers. Are you going to go to jail today? And he said, I don't need 5 minutes. I'm not telling you that. And so they went back and forth. And then Young Thug is represented by Brian Steele, also represented by a black man named Keith Adams. Keith Adams said, Your Honor, I have the same information he has, so we standing on business. So what's up? And the judge was like, I ain't asked you all that. I asked Brian Steele, I asked you that. And he was like, what? So I mistrial. So then all the attorneys start standing up. They always like, hey.
You remember that scene?
We know too. Mistrial. You know that scene in Life?
In Life where they was trying to figure out who that white girl had the daddy. Who was the daddy of that white?
Life.
Oh, you haven't watched it?
Go ahead.
They were all standing. All the black men were standing in line, and they was like, "I'm the pappy. I'm the daddy. It's me. I'm the father. I'm the father of that child. Yes, y'all know what I'm talking about. That's basically what you said.
That's what happened.
Yeah.
And the judge said, No. Miss what? No. Mistrial? No. Like, that man was swatting them like flies. No, you're not getting a mistrial. No. Why are you guys even saying that? No, mind your business. So he was like, the answer is no. And if you don't tell me what happened, you're going to go to jail. So then the people, the bailiff, the sheriff came over to Brian Steele and was like, hey, bro,
you're arrested.
So she tried to fight a little bit. Then the state came up, and the state, she was like, I don't know what is happening. This is ridiculous. And this is very serious. You know, she was going off. And the judge, he said again, tell me what happened. Are you going to jail? And he said, I'm not telling you. And they came over there in open, the jurors are not in there, obviously. They arrested that man on the live stream. He took off his jacket. The other attorneys was coming over him. Like, I said, what is happening? So he got arrested. And then the attorneys were like, we're not continuing on. I said, are they staging a coup? Is this a strike? They were like, we're not doing this. And the judge was like, you don't have that option. So I'm not delaying this.
So are they in court right now?
Yes. He was like, he's going to jail. I'm gonna give y'all 5 minutes, and then when I come back, we're going on. And he was like, I'm not delaying this trial because your attorney wants to go to jail. He could tell me what happened. He's not going to. So, see y'all in 5. I just can't believe that.
I know. Cassandra asked, who regulates judges? I agree. Sometimes they get up there and they show their, like, the power that they have goes to their head, and they show their whole rump, but in a way that's like, you can't do that.
Yes, and he is doing it.
You're trying to get me to snitch on my source. That's not actually the question here.
No.
The question really is, what was y'all talking about?
Nothing.
And I bet y'all wasn't going to tell me.
There is nothing that is going to happen. The way that this
they can't get disbarred
in the middle of the trial. No, he is presiding over that trial. It is his. He can, every time they say mistrial, that man says no because he can. And this is what is happening. And so they have to go through this year-long plus trial, and at the end, they have to file an appeal, or the jurors have to drop out. That is. They have to have 12 if for some reason, right? One of them moved out of the county, and so she was like, hey, I don't even live in Fulton no more. Do I have to do this? Can I get out? So then that
would be me. I am moving.
Say 5, 4, 3, however many have situations in which, say they're like, yo, I'm not a lawyer, but let's recap this weekend. Okay, well, you can't be on the trial no more. Say whatever. If they were to go below the required amount, and obviously they have alternates. So if they didn't have the amount, that obviously there would be no, he couldn't be like, I'm not a no to the mistrial. That he would have no option. All the other options, he can say no.
And he is saying no.
And he's saying no. So they have to literally go through this process.
That's very annoying.
Or something so, but again, they got to go through this process. It is the most insane thing that I've ever watched. I cannot believe that happened. I have to obviously see what happens for the rest of the day, but and then I'll move on. But like, I actually appreciate trials being publicized. Like, you have a right to a public trial in instances like this, because not only is it ridiculous and like, I tune in for the ridiculousness of it, but it also really feels like a miscarriage of justice.
Yeah.
It like really feels like this judge is obviously biased.
Right.
This is unfair. And I'm not even saying the defendants are not guilty. I'm not even saying that they haven't done a crime in their life.
Right.
Many of them have been previously convicted. I'm not saying that. However, you have a right to a fair trial.
Yeah, and he's not giving it.
And they are not having that.
Yeah.
As the DA, they have to prove their case.
And they're not doing that.
And they're not doing that. But they have a judge who is just allowing them to do whatever the hell they want to do. And it is insane to watch. It's actually sad to see this happen, because imagine the kind of people who don't have Thug's money, who don't have a Brian Steele as an attorney, who only have a public defender. Right? Imagine the people who are not being vigorously defended and advocated for in a trial and are just getting ran over, and it's for things that they didn't do.
Correct.
That's insane.
And there's no one there to, like, the fact that there's not someone,
a check and balance.
Yes, thank you. That's the exact word I'm looking for. A check and balance in real time. Like, forcing someone to go through this trial, be found guilty, go to prison, and then have to go through the appeal process when the reality is during
it,
something should have happened.
Absolutely.
That's the part that's unfair to Black and brown people
100%.
and people without financial resources.
Yep.
Because now my option now is go through this process that's not in my favor, sit in jail,
Yeah.
and then go back to the same system that is not designed to be in my favor to appeal.
Yep.
Again, all the odds are stacked against me.
100%. They are going to be, because the witness's attorney was like, I'm going to the bar about the DA, because he was like, what she did that's unethical. So he said so like those kind of things can happen, but
not to the judge.
But not to the judge.
And
the
that's
problem
the problem.
is the judge.
Yes.
The problem, I mean, she obviously has her issues, but the judge is supposed to be the check and balance.
Exactly. If you're in the room where it happens, and not telling folks,
100%,
then we need somebody else in here.
Absolutely.
Because you're not doing your job of refereeing. You're not doing your job of calling the shots. You're not doing your job of keeping control of the courtroom. You're not doing your job of upholding the law.
Yep.
You are partaking in
the corruption, low-key.
In the corruption.
Yep. And they said, the Max Sharp said, we want this to stop, because he was like, we're going to keep going. He was like, we actually want a full investigation. We want this stopped. We don't want to continue with this trial right now. And he was like, you don't have that option. It's my courthouse. Let's go.
That's so wild.
So it is wild.
That's wild.
It is insane. It is absolutely. I cannot believe that this has turned this way. But anyway, we'll keep seeing how it goes. That said, I want to tell you about the stinkiest smell that I have smelled, which is a sewer.
And corruption.
Corruption
stinks.
Nothing stinks more than corruption.
Yes.
Hello? Corruption needs the Lumi. But outside of corruption and sewer, stinking body odor also stinks. And if you don't want to stink, you also need Lumi. That's why I'm so excited to tell you about Lumi Whole Body Deodorant. Unlike certain other deos, Lumi is powered by mandelic acid to control odor in a new way. Lumi delivers outrageous 72-hour odor control everywhere from your pits to your feet, and yes, even your privates. In fact, it was patients' concerns about private part odor that originally inspired the OBGYN who invented Lumi. Fast forward 6 years, and her game-changing whole body deo has now earned over 300,000 5-star reviews. Come on, 5-star. From people like me who love feeling confident from head to toe. I like the versatility of Lumi. I like the convenience in product form that it comes in. I like that it makes me have protection. I sweat a lot. Amen. I get underboob sweat. I get thigh sweat. I get all the sweats. And so being able to have something that I can like carry around. Also, this is, again, it goes to like the different forms and packaging, because regular deos, right, that you like accidentally get on your shirt and your clothes, and like all of a sudden you got deodorant marks.
I have a video right now that I might not post because I have deodorant marks on my shirt.
It's the worst thing ever. Like, it is the worst. And so being able to have like versatility in the kind of way that you can make sure that you are protected, right? You can have some wipes. You can have a little stick. Okay. Lumi was smart in their product, because it can help you, again, just not look crazy and have like white stuff all over your clothes, because nobody wants to do that. Lumi Starter Pack is perfect for new customers. It comes with a solid stick deodorant. I just told you about the options. Solid stick deodorant, cream tube deodorant, 2 free products of your choice like mini body wash or deodorant wipes, one of my faves, and free shipping. As a special offer for our listeners, new customers get 15% off all Lumi products with our exclusive code. And if you combine 15% with the already discounted starter pack, that equals over 40% off of their starter pack. Use code GJ for 15% off of your first purchase at LumiDeodorant.com. That's code GJ at LumiDeodorant.com. LumiDeodorant.com. Join us on the Lumi train. We love it over here.
Lumi, send me a little package for the wedding.
Hello.
Okay, bye.
There you go.
Okay. Anything else you want to add?
So now that I've gotten through that, I also had a great weekend because it was my birthday on Thursday. And while I had every intention of watching every single trial and doing every single recap, the people in my life had other plans, which included going to Chicago, which is a city that I have been wanting to go for a long time. I just feel like it didn't make sense that I haven't been there.
That's true, actually.
It felt like, girl, what? Why haven't you been to Chicago?
Yeah.
And so I didn't even know if I knew what to expect. I just felt like I needed to go. And I had such a great time. What a great city.
It was great. It was probably one of my favorite Chicago trips because I never understand the hype about Chicago. I'm going to be really honest. It always ranks low on my favorite cities because I just never understood the hype. But this we had a good time.
It was a good time. The food
It was so good.
good. The weather, outside of a little rain. But even then, I didn't mind it. Good. The drinks were good. The views were good. Like, the fact that Chicago has water is so perfect.
Yeah.
What a great, little sprinkle for a city.
Yeah, we were in the downtown area right by, for those of you that know, by Maple and Ash.
Yes.
We were like literally in that
Yeah.
corner of the world. The Thompson Hotel is actually where we stayed. And it was
so
great.
Good. We walked. Greg and I had, and actually, we rode that time. Well, okay, so Greg and I went on to, Greg's friend lives in Chicago, his friend Drew, and so he picked us up. We had like lunch with him and like whatever, that was a good time. And then we went on this little boat
Oh my God.
that Melissa scheduled for us. I had a great time.
First of all,
Okay.
it rained.
It was raining.
And it was so cold. And this
It
is
was
the other
so
thing.
cold.
We left a little late. I didn't think we left late, but then when you're running to your destination, you
my.
realize you left late. So
Yes.
that's what happened. We left a little late. As we're running down the pier, there's probably 3 boats. Nice.
Yeah, they were nice. They were big.
Nice boats.
Really?
Black,
Nice.
long, covered. So nice. So we're trying to figure out which one is ours. Hi, excuse me, sir. This is my ticket. Are we stopping here?
Is this ours?
Keep going. Excuse me. Hi, this is my ticket. Is this one in there? No, the last one. Excuse me, sir. He said, no, you're looking for the sailboat all the way down.
Sailboat.
So we're like, oh, sailboat. What does that mean?
Going.
It's raining, it's cold, and it's windy. We get to our boat, and it is a literal sailboat.
It's a sailboat.
The seats look like this right here.
He was with the little squeegee thing trying to get the water off because it was
Yes.
raining. Everybody else had covering. Ours was like out. So he had to it's okay. It's not that wet.
Yes.
It's a little damp. You can sit down.
It was hilarious.
It was great. They went inside and
So this is the other thing. Me and Joe have the same shoes.
oh, that's right.
And because me and Joe have the same shoes, I accidentally grabbed one of my shoes and one of his shoes, but they were the same side. So I had like 2 left shoes all weekend.
Yes, that's right.
And so I only had my slides because
Yes.
those are if I'm traveling, I'm wearing slides because I don't believe in wearing shoes on planes.
Amen.
So because it rained, my feet
That's right.
my toes were cold and wet the entire time.
Yes.
We didn't have sweaters right before we got on. We were like,
had to
oh,
get
we should go get
sweaters. We were
sweaters because
cold.
it's like cold and rainy. Ciao. I sat in that thing the whole time. I said, I can't go outside. I'm cold.
Yes.
And my toes felt like, when you're cold and your feet felt hard?
Yes.
That's how my feet were. It was
Me
terrible.
and Greg talked to the little sail guy. It was great. He was telling us all about his life. He's sailed all the places. He left the boat and it capsized twice. He had all the stories. I had a great time getting rained on. Sometimes, I be enjoying rain. Sometimes because you live your life many times like where rain is really inconvenient for
Yeah,
you and it's
yeah.
like I can't afford to because it's gonna mess with my hair, my makeup or whatever. But sometimes I'll be like, let's just embrace sitting in the rain right now. Like, who cares? Who cares if your hair is wet? I got a wig. It's all right. So we sat there and talked to the man and just enjoyed being cold. So anyway, it was
still
around.
great.
It was
We
a
had
great trip.
We went to the Restoration Hardware in that little vicinity.
Yes,
Food was
so
amazing.
good.
We went to Maple and Ash. The guy was so nice.
Oh, he was
Food
so
was
great.
amazing.
Caviar's not good.
Oh, yes. Mel doesn't like caviar. Me and Kev. Oh, no. Kev didn't like it either. I think I was the only one that enjoyed it.
Not good.
Kev and Greg had 24 karat magic.
24 karat magic drink.
Whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
That was
it was
good.
fun. It was a lot of fun. Chicago
Highly
was great. We had no bad food. Actually, no, that's not true. We went to the it was like an Irish bar in that same little
Oh, that's not
situation.
good.
That's not very good.
That wasn't good.
No recommend.
But what I do, it felt like again, I didn't know what to expect, but I was surprised at how similar it felt in New York. And
Yeah.
it just felt like a smaller New York.
Yeah,
Like
it definitely did.
New York feels like big city. This feels like less than big city, but like still big city.
Yeah, specifically
Yeah,
where we were,
manageable.
because they look like brownstones. Like, I don't know what
they
to tell you.
look like
They literally,
brownstones.
and for Chicago to
know
be
that.
Midwest, it didn't feel. It's probably because of where we were.
Yeah.
I'm sure it's because of where we were. But like when I go to Ohio or when I'm in Michigan, I'm like, I'm in the Midwest. This feels very. This was not giving Midwest
it did
to
not.
me.
I didn't know they had brownstones like that. Like,
Yeah.
that was very surprising.
Yeah, it
to
felt
me.
very East Coast. It was
But-
very, very East Coast. So anyway, it was a great
Good
time.
time.
Yeah, we saw Charisse. Mel saw her. It was great. We had
Loved
a
it.
good time. No complaints from me.
Before you go to the next one, let
'kay.
me tell our folks. Earth Breeze Echo Sheets look just like a dryer sheet, but it's ultra concentrated liquidless laundry detergent. It's the best of both worlds. Earth Breeze is tough on stains and odors while being kind to the planet and your skin. Earth Breeze Echo Sheets are dermatologist tested, hypoallergenic, and free of bleach dyes and parabens. There's also a fragrance-free option. Earth Breeze got rid of unnecessary chemicals for a formula that is kind to sensitive skin of all ages, including babies. Let me just quickly say that anything that is aware, of sensitive skin and makes products with sensitive skin in mind is a product for me.
Yeah.
Because I have sensitive skin. I feel like everybody do,
I'm-
except like men. Men
Oh,
be putting
Kev could put Irish soap on his
on
skin.
his face, and you be like, "Wait, what? I can't do that."
That's okay.
But Earth Breeze, when they have sensitive skin in mind and are sensitive skin friendly, that means it can go for me and my sensitive skin, but also the people who can put dirt on their face and be okay. All
Yes.
right. So those are the kind of products we like. No more heavy lifting or measuring sticky blue goo from a massive plastic jug. Earth Breeze lightweight cardboard packaging takes up a fraction of the space in your laundry room versus traditional detergent, which is again a thing that I love because you get it be all around the cap.
Yeah, it do.
It be all on your hands.
Yeah, it do.
It drip on the floor. Anybody got time? Also, I've said this before, in trying to raise up my children to do laundry, even though I hate it, and that's why I can make them do it. Earth Breeze helps because they don't have to measure either. She's only 7, and I can just say, grab one of those sheets and put it in there. Voila, magic, you did it, girl. Everybody's celebrating. So it is, again, one of the things that I love about Earth Breeze. There's a number of things, but those for sure. Right now, my listeners can subscribe to Earth Breeze and save 40% off. Go to earthbreeze.com/GJ.
GJ.
That's earthbreeze.com/GJ for 40% off. Earthbreeze.com/GJ. Again, support them, support us. We love it. I recommend it. All the things. All right, yeah.
Okay, we're going to move on to Pop the Trunk, and I'll just tell you quickly who I want to pop the trunk on.
Yes.
Okay, so this morning I stopped by the post office. I was doing returns because y'all know I be doing returns. And so I'm in line, and this white middle-aged woman is at the register. And I can tell that the worker is struggling. So you could just see it in her face. You know that agitation, but I'm agitated with the person in front of me. So I'm going to look at the customer over here and just give you the smile that I'm really trying. So I'm the customer she's smiling at, So I'm like, I got you, boy. I understand what's happening. So I overhear her say, the worker say to the lady, we're going to call her Karen. To Karen, I overhear her say, maybe you should start earlier. And so Karen says, no. So she's writing, on the pad, the little thing.
Yeah.
And sometimes when you're writing, it goes in and out, that pen thing. So she was trying to actually tell her to start higher.
Oh.
So she says, maybe you should start earlier. So Karen says, do you mean write faster or do you mean write higher? And so the lady says, I'm so sorry. I just meant maybe if you start higher, the pen will pick up.
Yeah.
And so she's like, ugh. So she starts writing. Older lady, let's call this woman 60 something, right? Older lady behind me, because I'm next in line. She's got to be, we're going to give her 75 conservatively.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
She might be 99.
Okay.
So she's 99 won't do. So she comes in on a cane.
Kane.
Okay. with like all the stuff, not the regular cane, the cane that you can like rest your arm, like the full cane situation. So she taps me on the shoulder. She goes, I just have a question. Do you mind if I just get in front of you? I just have a question. I said, you know what? That's fine.
Praise the Lord.
So she comes next to Karen, waltzes her way, stands next to Karen. And the lady said, the grandma, we're going to call her grandma. Grandma says, excuse me, do you mind if I just ask her a question? Karen says, I'm standing here. Can you move?
Oh, my.
And so grandma says, I'm so sorry. It's just really hard for me. Like,
obviously,
I have this cane,
lady.
Yes. And I'm like 30 years older than you.
Yeah.
Karen says, it's hard for me as well.
Oh,
that's exactly what I did. In line, I said,
oh, my.
Yes.
Ma'am.
I could not believe. And they're both white. I'm like, first of all, I thought Karens were sympathetic to other like old white women.
You should have tripped that lady.
So this is what happened. Another black lady who I see all the time because I'm always doing returns. She pulls up. The grandma goes to her. After she's done with her, she asks her question. She walks off. Karen is still there. So now I'm next. And so I said, God bless the workers here because you guys are clearly trying so hard.
Oh, my.
God bless you.
Amen.
So then she walks out. The worker lady says she's like that all the time.
Oh.
So I said, I know she's not like that all the time. You mean tell me she comes in here all the time acting like that? That is rude. And so the lady's like, please just.
Please don't.
Yeah.
Let her go.
I said, you have to be nice. I don't.
Amen.
I don't have to be nice. I don't know her and I don't work here. Who's she going to tell?
Yes.
So on the way out, because she's older too, by the time I'm finished with my transaction, she's still walking her car. So you know what I did?
What, you tripper?
Fake called Kev.
Ch.
Yeah, I was just in the post office. Why was this lady so rude? Sure did. Because I want you to know.
Fake call Kev.
Sure did. I mean, in the middle of the conversation. No, this was literally me. I was just in the post office. Sure did. Because I want you to know why.
That's hilarious.
Why are you acting like this? It's Monday.
Let me run after to talk about you so you make sure you can hear me
I
talk
want
about
you to hear everything.
That's great.
I want you to hear everything.
So great.
I want you to know you showed your whole rump in there. And for why.
And for what, lady?
It's Monday.
For real.
At 11 a.m.
We just trying to make it.
Girl, everybody just trying to make it.
That's
just
crazy.
Relax.
Oh, that's terrible.
So, correct.
I wish her the day she deserves.
Come on, Tabitha Brown. Because why would you walk in these people's store with an attitude already? You could hear the lady said when I first walked in, now I understand what was going on. She says, the worker lady says, your carrier, it doesn't really make sense because your carrier wouldn't have left this notice, something along those lines. Mm-hmm. And so Karen says, well, aren't you the carrier?
Oh.
And so and her energy was like that. And so the lady was like, I met your individual carrier, I'm not your individual carrier. And I was like, this poor woman, she is
deserves
trying.
Your bad attitude.
She was like, thank you so much for signing that.
Oh,
like
that's nice.
Really trying to maybe if I'm nice enough, she'll be nice back to me.
That's terrible. What a terrible woman.
Girl, that means you live in this area.
Right.
And you frequent this UPS store. It was actually the post office, but you frequent this post office. And every time you come in here, you got an attitude?
You need to send somebody else.
Send somebody else. It's never that deep. You cannot be that rude and mean all the time.
Yes.
Like, who's actually pissing you off? Is your husband cheating on you? Divorce him.
For real.
Why are you taking it out on me?
That's so rude. That is so rude.
Yeah, so nasty and so rude.
Yeah, I couldn't remember that.
Yeah, she was showing her whole behind. That's and I was just like, ma'am, you're doing a lot. You should relax.
Hate it.
So anyway, I want to pop the trunk on the Karen that was at the post office with me today. She'll never see this, but just know.
You was talked about, girl.
Yeah, you was talked about.
I guess we can play. You want to play?
Yeah, let's do it. I probably only got maybe 10 or 15 more minutes, though. You want just to do one, or you want to go into couples therapy?
Let's do couples therapy instead.
Disregard.
That's what I was about to ask.
Okay.
So season 4 of couples therapy has come out. I didn't know they dropped all the episodes. I thought it was individual weekly.
I think at one time it was, Mel.
What happened here?
I don't know. Excuse me. When I realized they were all out too, it was surprising to me as well. I don't think it was always
Like that?
Yeah, I don't think it was always a bingeable show.
Okay. If you are unaware, Couples Therapy is the best show that I enjoy because it is a woman who seems like an amazing therapist. Low-key,
She really
I mean,
does.
like, is she virtual? Because I want to talk to
No,
her.
I would talk to her too.
She's great.
Yeah, I would talk to her too.
And so based in New York, and couples in New York, they like follow these couples in couples therapy with this therapist over a period of time.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's on Showtime, and the new season started. And what's her name?
Orna.
Orna is the therapist's name. The therapist's name.
I actually watched it on Paramount Plus,
Oh, okay.
but I'm sure it's available on all.
Yeah.
So
we're going to talk a little bit about the couples and like the problem that they're having in their relationship,
Okay.
I think is how we should do it. The first couple is Rex and Joey. And the issue that is coming up is that Joey, who is the woman,
Mhm.
comes from a Christian family. She is a Christian. Her mother is like stout Christian, it sounds like. And Rex is atheist.
Yes. And so it's two things to me that's really important. Number one is religion, because she has the religious like virginity good girl
Yes.
complex
Yep.
that she's dealing with.
Uh-huh.
But in addition, they're Asian. And the reason that is important is I don't know this personally, but not every time, but a lot of times when you hear people talk about Asian culture and how
Yes.
they grew up, they always talk about how stoic is the word I'm going to
Oh,
use.
that is a
Their
good word.
father's love is to them.
Mhm.
It's like it's a non-existent kind of emotional, I've heard. I never heard my father say I love you. I've never heard my father's never given me a hug. I've never, like, that is like a common theme that I personally have heard in like Asian culture.
Yep.
And that's another kind of like layered issue. So in addition, yes, non-demonstrative love. Thank you. I
Oh,
struggle to
that's
get that
good.
word, but that's exactly what it is. Thank
Yeah.
you very much, passionate for God. So in addition to her like kind of religious things she has going on with like her mom
Yeah.
and like sexuality and all of this, and him also being an atheist, he struggles, almost actually both of them, to be completely honest, they both kind of struggle with displaying love and affection and talking about it.
Yeah.
It's a very interesting
It
couple.
is very interesting.
But low-key, he enjoys sex though.
Yeah, he sounded like he was going to call himself a sex addict at one point.
I
in time.
agree.
Like he was like, it wouldn't be an exaggeration to say I had a different woman every day of
Yes.
the week. Like, bruh.
Yes. And was like, I enjoy having sex anywhere.
And then said, sometimes I wonder how I stopped. And I was like, well, did you?
I know.
Because they haven't had sex in years. And so you want me to believe that
Was
you
that
just,
like a little bit of a confession?
I know. I was like, I don't believe that you stopped all the way.
Yeah.
I think you're having sex. She's not, but you are.
Yeah.
You can do with that what you will. But here's the not one thing. I've learned a ton of things from you and Love Hour. But one of the things that I can remember you saying is how important religion is in a conversation with your partner, and how if you and your partner do not agree, good luck. What are the ones you say? Kids,
Religion and politics.
Oh, though it's kids, religion, and politics, or not kids?
No, kids is one.
Okay.
Like if you want kids and I don't want kids, and how you raise, because that's where religion comes in, how you raise those kids. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
And they are well in there.
They are well.
It's like, oh, good luck.
Yeah.
Good luck.
I wonder also with her mom.
Yes.
Like her mom has a very.
Why does she have so much input, it seems?
And disdain.
Yeah,
her mother, like, it almost feel like her mama don't like her.
For real. Well, and the therapist brought out like this constant narrative about death and like demonizing.
Yes,
Like she would demonize them, and your kid's gonna be bad, and your kid's gonna die, and that is so harsh.
Yes, and the connection with, that's probably why Joey doesn't want to have sex, because she doesn't want to have this kid that her mama has cursed.
Cursed already. So
Yeah,
interesting.
it was very interesting.
So that's the first couple. The next one is Eliana and Mitch.
Oh man. One of their dynamic truly is a dynamic, or is you should watch this if your husband tells you feel like a mother.
Mm-hmm.
I think that this,
Yeah.
hearing Orna
Yeah.
have conversations with the two of them was mind-blowing
Yeah,
for me.
yeah.
And I didn't expect Orna, the therapist, to side with Mitch
Oh my gosh, me either.
as much as she did.
I know, it surprised me too. I low-key felt a little attacked, like, oh, am I
And
too
th-
aggressive? Am I how? Do I
and-
tell you what to do? I made Greg sit down like, hey, listen to this. Hey.
And this is why, if of all of these people,
Yeah.
the one I found to be like, oh, I might have to turn this off for a minute.
Yeah.
It was them.
Yeah. And here's where the chord was struck. Okay. He kept talking about comparison. You always compare the way I do things to you. And at first it wasn't landing on me. I was like, I don't feel like she's doing that. Maybe I was being Eliana, but like, I don't understand. And then it was like, she don't want me to do the kitchen because I'm not gonna do it like her. And she don't like how I do. But and so it's like, she thinks she does it better.
Yes.
And I was like, oh.
Well, also because it doesn't come out like I
But
do
what
it
if
better.
she does?
It was like, yeah, because he's gonna clean like a toddler.
Yeah.
And that was
The
like,
language.
yes,
The
because
language.
at first it wasn't direct comparison. Like, I'm not gonna let you
Yeah,
do it because
yes.
I'm gonna do it better. It was like, you can't do it because you're gonna do it like a toddler. Well, then that's judgment.
Yeah. No, that you're right.
And the subtext is, I'm not going to do it like a toddler.
Yeah.
I cannot trust you to do it because you're going to do it like a toddler. So therefore, I have to do it because I'm the adult in the room.
Yes.
Therefore, I have to do it.
Which she literally kept bringing, I'm the adult, he should be the adult. And it was like, oh, your language.
Yes.
Your language
And
here.
Oriana was picking it up on
Yeah.
some like, so let's stop.
Yeah.
And I was like, why should we stop, Oriana? Orna. Her name is Orna.
You calling her Ariana
I'm
Grande.
sorry. You're right. It was
interesting.
It was very,
Yeah.
it is, that dynamic is worth
Yeah.
the watch as
100%.
a whole.
And not that all of it, because I think the language was really like, oh, this is
Yeah.
hard. Why are you speaking to him like that? But again, for me, the idea that your way of doing things is not only right, but their way, even more so than your way of doing things right, it's that their way of doing things is wrong.
Correct.
And that was like, oh, you
Yeah.
gotta be mindful of that, huh?
Yeah.
You do.
And her like protection and how Orna said, you have like this protective layer, but it's not just to protect you, it's actually harmful
Yes.
to other people.
Uh-huh.
It was just very,
It's good.
it was really,
Yeah.
I was super impressed actually with Orna, like the way she handled them and like worked through some of their issues was just super.
Yeah. And she did have OCD. She said that she had OCD.
Yes, she did.
They also have a lot. She has like sexual trauma, right? Like
Yes.
she was like molested, I
Yeah,
think.
no, she said raped by the person in her church. Was it her?
Only reason why I said molested is because she was 14.
Oh, is that considered molestation at that age?
I believe so.
I actually just realized I didn't know that there was a distinction between the two, and
It's
that's
a
probably
child. It's an adult to a child would
That
make
makes
it
sense.
molestation versus like rape.
that absolutely makes sense.
But she used the term rape.
Correct.
But it's molestation.
Got it.
But anyway.
Which was also interesting because she couldn't just say like
Yeah.
she was just like, I have very interesting
Yeah,
relationships with
with
men
sex.
and with sex. And
Yeah.
it was just like,
It was weird.
yeah, it was like, oh, you might need to like go to therapy for that.
yeah,
You
yeah.
know, to understand that's trauma.
Absolutely.
And of course that's gonna like show up, especially sexual trauma. That is going to show up in your relationship.
Yep. And even the way that she said that she would address sex with him
Yeah.
was very like, that's not as if they're not in a relationship with a child and like trying to be together.
Yeah.
Like it was like a girl on the street and it was like, so what's up? You trying to get down or what?
Yeah.
Like I got stuff to do
She
today.
does have that
And it
very
was
like New York hard
Hardness.
exterior. Yeah,
that
was
for
very
sure.
interesting.
So that was that couple. The next one is Josh, Aaron, and Lorena,
Poly couple.
because they're a poly couple. So there's 3 of them. Josh being the male, obviously, and then 2 women. What was surprising was that the 2 women are not lovers,
Yes.
but they are lovers with him only.
Yes.
And they have an interesting dynamic because of that. I was like, I didn't even know this was an option for everybody, it's not a throuple because the 2 aren't together.
Right. They are in they're almost like couples who share
A person.
a person.
Yeah. Like community property.
Yeah, but what was it's called a V relationship because he's the connection.
He's the middle? Oh,
Yeah,
I
yeah,
see.
yeah. Okay. Yeah, almost like
Almost like
sister
sister
wives.
wives.
Yeah, almost like sister wives if they're
100%.
not married. Yeah, that's probably more equivalent. The interesting thing that I found about this couple, and something I've always wondered, and we talked about it
Yes.
this weekend.
Yes.
Something I've always wondered,
Oh,
and
my.
most people do not talk about in poly relationships, and I never believe it, is the jealousy
Absolutely.
and the insecurity
Yes.
that would be inherent
With it.
in this type of relationship.
Yes.
Because, again, I think that the world has demonized jealousy to be something as a sign of insecurity.
Yes.
Right? And I've never believed. If you've listened to the Love Hour, you know I have never subscribed to this. If you've read my book, you know I have never subscribed to this. What Orna called it was a threat to your relationship. I've never used it in those words, but I've described it that way.
Yeah.
And I've always used it like, this is something that's precious to me. And if I feel like there's something coming to attack that, then I should be on guard.
100%.
And that is how, that to me, jealousy is an indication to me. Of course, there's jealousy that can go too far, right?
Yes.
Obviously. I'm just not talking about that. For the most part, I think that jealousy is a signal to you that something is threatening your relationship. And if your relationship is near and dear to you and something that you cherish and something that you value, you need an alert system that's telling you, hey, something feels off.
Yeah.
Something feels like you trying to come in this way.
Yeah.
That's not a bad thing. And don't let nobody tell you that it's not, because
absolutely.
then they end up being on the slide with your man or your wife, and you like, I knew it. Yeah, because they try to gaslight you that jealousy is bad, and it's not always. Because, there's always but sometimes jealousy can cause you to kill people. Well, clearly I'm not talking about that.
Yeah.
Obviously, you took it too far.
Yeah.
Okay, I don't need the disclaimer. Let's not have to give me the disclaimer talk.
Not what
Let's
we're talking
assume
about.
that's not what I'm talking about.
Yes.
So, for the most part, it's just an indication of that.
Yeah.
So, with these relationships, even if your mind says, I'm in a throuple, or I'm in a polyamorous relationship, or I'm in a V relationship, whatever your term is, right? However you're defining that relationship. Someone being with someone that you love, spending the time that you would prefer them to spend with you, of course you're going to be jealous.
Yes. Absolutely.
Of course.
Somebody in the Patreon just commented. I just want to highlight it.
Okay.
I am in a poly marriage. Hubby doesn't date, but admitted there was jealousy when I came back from a date with a lady, and we had an amazing conversation. It's the only way poly can work.
Thank you, Sarah.
I think that's, to the point that you're making. Jealousy it's also just very human.
It's such a human.
It's very human.
God says he is jealous for us.
Yeah. Yeah. And to the point that you're making, it feels like, and I don't know, and I'm not blaming this on the people in poly relationships, but it feels like the way that I have thought about it is like, oh, do they just live without jealousy? Are they just so free and open? But then how do you feel loved and protected and desired by your partner if they don't even care?
Exactly.
And the poly part is actually the balancing of that.
Yes.
It's actually very interesting to hear a poly couple say how we address that, the conversations we have, because that is a reality of the world that we live in. So it's actually very fascinating to understand that part versus to act as if it doesn't exist. Yeah, and that's what she did. The point is, in the episode, she brought it out, and it came up that they feel that.
Exactly.
So it was very interesting.
And I think that if you subscribe to this lifestyle, right?
Mhm.
If y'all grown, everybody agree, that's your business, do you. But I think there probably should be a normalization that yes, jealousy exists.
Yeah.
And this is how we navigate it.
Yes.
To give people those pointers instead of pretending it doesn't.
Yeah.
Because again, why would I not be jealous?
Yeah.
Why would I not over something that I love?
Yeah.
And again, it doesn't have to be a toxic jealousy, but just a jealousy that like, I wish you could have stayed here with me and spent time with me, and instead you were out.
Yeah. 100%.
That's normal.
In Brother Wives, the black couple, the woman who she had 2 and was bringing in a 3rd. What was very obvious is that first husband did not care. He was like, the second husband was like, you bringing in somebody else, but what about me? And the first husband was like, it's fine, let her go.
Literally.
I'll be in the basement.
Yes.
You don't need to call me, talk to me. Good luck. Good.
Seriously.
Can I be the best man at the wedding? But yeah, that's my wife. You know, we just never got divorced. But like, he was so tapped out, and it was so obvious. He don't even love her like that no more. He loves her as a friend.
Yes.
But that's because that romantic jealousy was completely gone. And so that romantic interest, it just became evident. If you watch that show, it became evident that like, oh, he tapped out.
Yeah. And they also had this like hierarchy thing that was weird of the, what was it called? The anchor partner?
Anchor. And there was another word because it was like secondary, primary and secondary.
That's exactly what it was.
And I was like, well, I wouldn't be second to nobody, honey.
Exactly. It was very much giving. And they had a lot of stuff they had to work out.
Those titles were causing issues.
Because she was like, I feel like the secondary partner was like, I feel like my relationship with him is defined by your relationship with him.
So it's like, you can come to this barbecue, but you can't act like we're together because I'm here with her. You're home, but like you can't be over here because we're over here. So it's very interesting and hearing them talk through all of that was interesting.
Yeah.
And then the last couple.
Oh man,
Casimir and Alexis. They gotta break up.
I think so too.
Why she's so invested in them?
I don't know.
Orna's like, I just need more time. They don't need more time together. They need individual time with you, Miss Orna. But this is abuse.
I 100%.
They be in the, and I'm like, how come she don't have a ethical responsibility to report them? Because it's abuse.
It was such a toxic relationship.
Oh my gosh.
So they are a gay couple. And one of them, I don't remember the names. I think it's Alexis. He's Alexis?
That's Casimir.
Okay, so Casimir was actually molested when he was a child as well.
Yes.
And so he, as a result of, like, his coping mechanism for that is disassociation, right? But when he disassociates, he also, like, sees red.
Yes.
And that was the, like, toxicity of it all.
Mm-hmm.
And then, you know, not a lot of times, but for some people, when they disassociate, they have no memory. Like, they don't have.
It's so bizarre.
And so, like, there's no, like, apology you can give because I don't know what I'm apologizing for because I don't really remember it. It was.
Imagine somebody, like, cursing you out.
Full on.
Okay? Making you cower. Making you, like, shudder in the corner of a room because you're terrified of them. And then you guys get back on good terms, and then when you want to address what happened, they don't remember. Chat, that's another kind of abuse.
Yeah.
That is gaslight abuse.
Yeah.
Because now I can't even address the things that you said to me because you don't even know you said them.
Yeah.
Boy, get me out of here.
Yeah, it was very.
It is. And he gets like violent.
Yeah, it was so interesting because his demeanor in session is very like meek and mild.
Yeah.
But then when you hear what he
the
be doing,
story, you're like, who are? Literally, my question, because I understand the disassociation, but I started to wonder: can disassociation start to become bipolar? Can you start to become?
I actually
you know
think,
what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Like
I think disassociation, I don't want to call it a precursor because I don't necessarily know that they, like, you have to be disassociative to become bipolar.
Yeah.
But I do think that you can splinter into
Two people,
multiple
personalities.
personalities. Absolutely. 100%.
It felt like listening to that, and obviously I'm not a doctor and very familiar with like all of that, but the way that he was describing his experience, it felt very similar to what I know about somebody who would be diagnosed with something like that.
Yeah.
So it was just very bizarre. We're not even done. We didn't even finish yet. But that's a relationship that there's sometimes in the seasons I'd be like, oh, they should break up.
Me
Oh,
too.
they should break up. For this season, it's them.
Yeah.
They should break up.
Yeah.
Or schizophrenia. That's the other one. But they gotta go.
I agree.
Anyway, I know you gotta go, so I think we're done.
Wait, let me just say this real quick, and then I do have to go. So because I didn't finish this last night, I was like, okay, I think I'm done with this. I felt like Orna had too much to say to me personally when she was talking to other couples, so I was like, I'm out. I started watching the show called The Contestant.
Yeah.
On one of the streamers. I don't remember the name.
Okay.
There should be so many streamers. I don't remember. So the basis of the show is this Japanese man.
Okay.
There's a lot of pre-story, but this is the meat and potatoes of it. You know what I'm talking about? So he signs up for this show that he's kind of unaware of what's going on. But essentially the show is you live in an apartment, let's call it. It's really look like a room, an apartment by yourself.
Oh.
No contact.
Okay.
Nothing, you can't leave. And you get all of these magazines. And you survive.
You get magazines. Okay.
Off of the sweepstakes in the magazines. So the only way that you eat
is if you win the sweepstakes?
Yes. And the goal is that you have to reach, it was 1 million yen. So he was inside of this apartment trying to reach that goal. Naked, by the way, and he's naked. That's the other thing.
What?
Sorry. This is the other part. He's completely naked, stripped. There's a camera, him, magazines. 24 hours a day.
What?
7 days a week. And he is in there for 11 months.
Months?
Before he hits his 1 million yen. When he wins the 1 million yen, the producers come in. Take him, I kid you not, his hair is grown, he's thin. It's really, the editing is very interesting on the show because the show makes it seem like he's having a good time.
Yeah.
And then they juxtapose that with him in real time. Like, I was miserable. I was like sad. I was depressed. I was losing weight, like all of this, right? So he wins the million, not wins. He didn't even win any money, it doesn't seem like, to be honest. He did all of this, and for why, I still don't know. So he gets the 1 million yen in sweepstakes. Takes him 11 months. They let him out. He goes to an amusement park. They feed him. They do these things. He gets on a plane. He goes to Korea. He then has to win initially a trip in prize the same way, sweepstakes.
It's not over?
From Korea. He thought it was, and it was not. From Korea back to Japan. Because by this time he had spent 11 months doing the things, he learned kind of quickly how to do it. Mind you, he didn't speak Korean.
Oh my God.
So he's learning how to understand the magazines in real time as well.
My.
So he finally catches on. He gets it fairly quick. Then they up it to a first class ticket. He's starting to be smart. So he's like, I feel like I should have got this by now. I feel like I should have got this by now. I feel like, so the producers are like, oh no, what are we gonna do? Because he got it. So they fly this man back to Japan. They're televising this show. Mind you, this is in 2000.
This really happened?
Yes. 2000. I'm sorry, not 2000. 1998. So it's like pre The Truman Show.
Yeah.
Pre-Survivor.
Okay.
Pre-reality TV. They're low-key like the reason he had a really long face. And so his name means eggplant in Japanese. And so what they would do is, because he was naked, they would put eggplant
over his.
And so they were saying they think that's actually the origin of why eggplant today
is referenced as that.
Yes. So anyway, they fly him back. They're publicizing the show on
this is crazy.
As reality TV in Japan.
This
it's
is crazy.
A huge hit. People are tuning in all of this time. So they fly him back to Japan, and after he's done with Korea, they put him in like what looks like another apartment. So he's sitting there like clearly disheartened and like, I cannot believe I have to do this a third time. All of the walls of the apartment fall, and he's in a live studio audience. butt naked with only a pillow. And so everyone's clapping and he's like,
What?
what is happening? What? So the hosts come over and they're like, all these people have been following your journey. Like, they're so excited for you. And he's like, what are y'all talking about?
Absolutely not.
It was wild.
Absolutely not.
They be doing some wild, not Japanese, but like over in Asia, they be doing some stuff. So their reality TV be
It's
real.
different.
This be the one where like, come out here naked and I'm gonna pop the balloons and stuff.
Yeah.
It'd be like, it'd be real.
Well, that sounded like solitary confinement.
No,
and we
legit.
all know what happens to people who spend a year in
he was in
solitary
there in total for
confine-
15 months or 15 months.
Imagine. That's essentially what that is.
Yeah.
And they're doing it as an experiment?
Yes. Well, as a reality
a
TV
reality show?
Why? If you have heard, if you've watched.
Is he alive today?
Yes.
And he's all right mentally?
Who knows? Yeah, it went on because he also ended up doing this thing. He climbed Mount Everest, and then these people died.
Boy.
I told Kev I want to know his like PTSD.
100%. That's why I'm like.
So anyway, it's like an hour and a half, but it's certainly worth the watch.
Okay, documentary.
It's like documentary style.
Oh.
It is nope, it's subtitled.
Okay.
So you do need to pay attention.
Yeah.
But yes, it's called The Contestant.
Okay.
The man is still alive today, and he was like, they caught him backstage at the end of after he got off from the live studio audience. He was like, I was tricked. I never signed up for this. Because he had no idea. The guy.
So.
Yeah, the producer guy was like, most of this isn't going to be televised, so you don't have to worry about it. Mind you, they were chomping down his day into like 6 minutes. It's like a really popular show in Japan. I can't remember the name of it. But they would like include his segment, and it becomes wildly popular because people are like, when is he going to get out? How far along is he? Has he reached 1 million yen? Has he not?
This is crazy.
Wild. Yeah, I got to go. Thank you, Ernestine. Thank you guys so much, because I got to go. Thank you guys so much for joining us for today's episode of
Gin and Juice.
Thank you. I was about to say this podcast, 'cause I don't know the name of it. We talked about couples therapy, because I know some of you guys came in late. Couples therapy, watch that. And The Contestant. Thank you, Catherine. It's on Hulu. And then the last thing I want to say is we need to watch Traders, but they haven't decided. Also, I have no idea. The cast, I didn't recognize none of them people. I said, I'm going to tune in because you don't have to know the people.
No, but it's like Robin.
I'm going to say this. Most of those people.
Okay, all right.
I didn't know.
I feel like I knew them. I felt like I was excited about it.
I didn't know half of them people.
Okay.
A lot of them was like Survivor or this, and I never watched those type of shows, so I was like,
But there was
okay.
good people, I thought. All right, girl.
I don't remember. So, all right, y'all. Bye.
Bye.
Oh, and I am going to watch The Perfect Match. Thank you, Krista.
Oh, yeah, that's
I'm
out.
absolutely watching The Perfect Match.
Chris
Okay,
Shell?
for real. Bye.